Hi, I'm Jadon, and this is my partner Ella. This is our water utility company project for Computer Science 174. The initial thing that we did was to ask for three inputs: the customer's code, which is a string, and then two integer inputs for the initial and final reading for their water container. We converted the inputs to integers so that we can later use them in computations to find the billing. The next thing that we did is to set parameters for potential errors given meter readings that don't fall within the meter's range. So basically, if it has more than 10 digits for either the final or the initial, or if it is a negative number for the final or initial, it will error out and print invalid user inputs. The next thing that we did is essentially allow the final reading to be greater than the initial reading, even if the final reading is printed as less than the initial, meaning that if the final reading is in the 10-digit range and the initial reading is still in the 9-digit range, we can add 10 billion to the final reading, allowing us to just do simpler computations throughout the entire project.
And then we made sure to assign the gallons they used to the difference of their end billing minus their initial, all divided by 10 to make sure we have the right amount for a bill. And then we went to the if-else method to make sure that the residential code that the customer inputs would be a bill of $5 plus the rate 0.0005 times their gallons used. And then after that, an ELIF statement for the commercial water billing companies. And inside that was nested in the gallons used being more than 4 billion, which would make their bill $1,000 plus the gallons they used minus 4 billion times the rate 0.00025. And if that was all false, it would just be 1,000. Then the last ELIF statement was for an industry water bill, and if their gallons were less than or equal to 4 billion, their bill would be $1,000. If it was the gallons used were more than 4 billion and less than or equal to 10 billion, it would be 2,000. And if that was all false, it would be 2,000 plus the rate 0.00025 times their gallons used minus 10 billion.
Yeah, and for the customer code, if and else statements, we also added or statements to allow for capitalization. At the end of the customer code, if and else statements is a final else statement that prints an invalid error if the customer code isn't recognized as an R, I, or a C. At the end, we essentially ran back the this code right here, which would add the 10 billion, essentially making it so that the final reading that would be printed at the end is the same reading as the customer's input. So if the final reading is greater than 10 billion, it would subtract 10 billion from it. And then we printed the final data points, the customer's inputs, the customer code, both the meter readings, and then the gallons of water used in the amount that will be billed. We use dot format for the meter readings and for the billing to allow us to have the meter readings be a minimum of 9 digits. So if the meter reading was 5, it would have 8 zeros and then a 5 at the end, and then amount billed would have to have two decimal points at the end of it, meaning that it would be printed as a monetary value. Thank you for staying this long. That was our project.